Jam is the 1996 film starring Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny, and it follows Michael Jordan, who is needed by the Looney Tunes to save them from being imprisoned by an alien race. Guys, why am I reviewing Space Jam? Well, believe it or not, this film turns 20 years old today, so what better time to review it? This movie was really important to me as a kid. I watched this film almost every single day because it was just awesome. It has two of the coolest things ever with Looney Tunes and of course Michael Jordan. Now what's interesting is I haven't seen this movie in years, so I was really curious to see if it was as good as I remember it to be. Let's start with things I liked about this movie. For one, the soundtrack is still awesome. Of course, the title song Space Jam is the favorite, but good lord, the beginning of this movie where it shows young Michael Jordan like going for the layup and then it just hits with Space Jam, that scene is just pure nostalgia fuel. Bill Murray is also great in this movie. I like that he didn't phone it in. He actually seems like he's trying to be funny. Probably not though, because let's face it, for Bill Murray to be funny, it's not that hard. But he has a lot of great moments, like at the end with Larry Bird. Now it's weird watching this movie because like I said, I haven't seen this film in years, so you remember little glimpses of it and it's almost kind of like deja vu. And after rewatching this movie, I've come to the conclusion about how I feel about this film. Space Jam is a weird movie. And it's not weird in the sense that Michael Jordan is playing basketball with the Looney Tunes against aliens. That's not the weird part. But the fact that it's oddly a weird kind of cynical movie. The cartoons frequently reference Warner Brothers and say how they're mistreated and how they're seen as property and how they're manipulated. It also brings up the paradox, is Warner Brothers filming the Looney Tunes being loony, or did Warner Brothers create the Looney Tunes and now the Looney Tunes feel like they're slaves? Because Michael Jordan gets sucked into this hole and he passes a big sign of Warner Brothers, so did they create this universe or are they just filming events that are already happening? There are, however, some good jabs at Disney and how they reference the Mighty Ducks. I was also confused with Lola Bunny's character because they try to do this thing where they're like, yeah, she's a girl bunny, but she's also the best player on the team. But then they oddly sexualize her in a weird way for a kids movie. Like on one hand, they're trying to be like all PC and cool and how girls can play basketball too. But then also, they're like, hey, she's just a sex object because everyone on the team wants to pork her, including probably Michael Jordan. I also think this movie could have done a better job at being more meta. The only really meta things I have to say about this movie is Michael Jordan's bad at baseball and the fact that Warner Brothers owns the Looney Tunes. And baseball's not the only thing that Michael Jordan's bad at because his performance in this movie is horrendous. His reaction to when he first sees the Looney Tunes is priceless.
Bugs Bunny.
You would think that people witnessing cartoons in their face, like right in front of them, would have a nervous breakdown. But no, all he has to say is,
Bugs Bunny.
but nah, he's cool as a cucumber, and he's just like, hey, let's play some basketball. And unfortunately, the NBA cameos aren't that much better. And I think it's probably fair to say that none of the NBA players at this time could act worth a damn, because they're all pretty terrible. Charles Barkley's probably the best one. He has some funny moments. But as a whole, they're all pretty bad. Now, it's rumored that Warner Brothers is talking about remaking this movie or making a sequel to it with LeBron James. And I really don't think that that's a good idea. Because upon rewatching this movie, I've noticed that it's not very good. And I think that people watch it with such rose-tinted glasses that they think it's such a great movie because it has Michael Jordan in it. When you rewatch it though, it's not that great. I do, however, think that LeBron James is a better actor than Michael Jordan because I've seen LeBron in Trainwreck and he actually has some really solid comedy chops. However, if they were to remake this movie today, these are the NBA players that are playing now that I think it would be cool if the aliens were to take their powers from. So for my 2016 Monstars team, I've got Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. And although I would really like to see Warner Brothers make this version of the movie, I'm just gonna say that I'm not looking forward to everyone saying, oh, you're crapping on my childhood, when in fact, your childhood isn't that great. I also think that the visual effects in this movie could have been a lot better. Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out nearly 10 years before this movie, and it looks way better. I think it's because this movie flipped what Who Framed Roger Rabbit did, in that in this film, you put Michael Jordan into a cartoon world, but in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you put Roger Rabbit into a human world. But then there are also these terrible scenes, like when Wayne Knight gets flattened and then blown up and makes a big fart noise around the stadium. Like, that CGI in that scene is laughably dated. Overall, it's hard to watch this movie without viewing it with rose-tinted glasses because you notice a lot of the flaws that you didn't notice when you were a kid. And believe me, there are a lot of them. I still really like this movie, but I fully believe that it's mostly fueled by nostalgia. And I'm fully aware of the problems that it has, like it's really terrible acting, it's even worse visual effects, and it's oddly cynical jokes. But this movie does still have a special place in my heart because it's Space Jam. It's like the most 90s thing ever. So did you guys watch Space Jam as a kid? What did you think about this film? Have you seen it recently? Do you think that it holds up? So let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching today, and I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.